Okay, you guys, hopping right into this video, we are going to start off by making the crust. Okay, so I am going to be using 2 packs of graham crackers because we like to have more crust than filling. More crust than a cheesecake filling. Okay, so I'm using 2 packs of graham crackers. And then I am going to go ahead and put these in a Ziploc bag, and I am going to use my cookie roller to just beat these graham crackers up until they become crumbs or just chopped pieces, but mostly crumbs. Okay, all right, and so then now I am going to melt some butter, which I already melted. Y'all just didn't see that portion. Okay, so pouring all of my graham crackers into the bowl, I just made sure that they were finely chopped up into pieces that would make a crust. Okay, right, so I'm going to pour the butter into the bowl. I use 1.5 stick of butter that I melted in the microwave, and I'm just going to go ahead and mix that up until I don't have any more dry crumbs. I just don't want the crumbs to be dry. In other words, if you're making this cheesecake, you don't want your crumbs to be dry. They need to be wet so that they can all form and stick together and mold into your crust at the bottom of your pan. Okay, so some of these mix the chop, and as you can see, I'm using my spatula to just chop them up. All right, so I have my 10-inch pan here. This exact recipe you can definitely use for an 8-inch or a 9-inch. I just couldn't find mine, so we're using a 10-inch. And this is the pan that separates, so where you remove the sides from. I call this my cheesecake pan because that's pretty much the only thing I use it for when I'm baking or doing a no-bake cheesecake. Right, so I pour all the graham cracker crumbs in here, and I am just going to use my spatula to just push it down, and that wasn't working. So you guys, I did start to use my hands. My hands are clean, which is absolutely fine. So I just got that. Once that is patted down, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator while I make my filling. So it'll be in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes or so. So I'm using 2 packs of the Philadelphia cheesecake. Wish it was cheesecake already. Philadelphia cream cheese. And then I'm going to use a whole can of sweet condensed milk. Okay, and I am just going to pour it all in there, and I'm going to use my spatula to go around the sides of the can just to make sure that I get everything out. Okay, so if you read the title, this is a 4-ingredient cheesecake. Alright, so the 2 main ingredients, of course, is the sweet condensed milk and the cream cheese. And now I'm going to use some flavoring. I chose to use some cookie nip, 1 tablespoon. Went overboard. But anyway, this was a teaspoon I had in my hand, so I used 3 teaspoons, which is equivalent to 1 tablespoon. And then I'm also adding in some lemon juice. Now you can use some fresh lemon juice, but I use like this lemon concentrated juice or whatever. And I'm using a hand mixer to just blend everything together. It makes it so much easier. You can use a stand mixer, or you can just use a wooden spoon if your cream cheese is soft enough. I have done it before when I was making some cream cheese stuffed strawberries, and I did not use a mixer at all. I just used my spoon to just mush everything together and mix it up until it was nice and creamy. So that's what you want here. So I just went ahead and mixed this up with my spatula so it was nice and creamy. Got my crust out of the freezer, and I am just going to go ahead and pour all of the filling in here, scraping the sides, scraping everywhere. But if y'all leave some on the side, it's okay to eat it. You can eat it, you can taste it. It'll be so good. All right, so I am going to pop this baby in the refrigerator. It will have to sit for 3 hours, maybe 4, but I did let it sit overnight because that's best. So it's going to sit overnight, and we will eat it tomorrow. And you definitely want your top to be smooth. So as you see, I have been doing just smoothing the top off, and then I went and ran it through some hot water and then smooth it some more. So I am adding some plastic wrap on top before I put it in the refrigerator, just to protect it, of course. So wrap it up with some plastic wrap. You ain't got to use some foil. Use whatever you have. Just cover it. Okay, so this is the very next day. My refrigerator was a high, the highest, the coldest. But anyway, so I just took it out and I let it set for a moment. And now my cake knife is what I'm using to cut this, or a pie cutter, whatever. I did run it through some hot water first. That just helps it to be able to cut easy, because again, this is very solid. The crust is more solid than the filling, of course. So I am just going to go ahead and cut a triangle piece, and you can put whatever toppings you want to put on here. I decided to put some walnuts and some chocolate on top, and as you can see, I had to go and use the pointy end to cut the rest of the crust on one side, because that part did not want to come out. Okay, I should have used a regular knife like I normally do. But instead I used the knife I got from Temu. So I just drizzled some caramel on top, and then I put some nuts on top. But you can use strawberries, you can make some by can, cherries, whatever you want for your cheesecake. You guys, it's absolutely delicious. I hope you try it and like it. Okay, and that is the end for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share with a friend. Leave me a comment below, you guys, and like this video. See you later.